Pounders, welcome back. Today is the day where we have some celebrations and then you have to eat some L's. DeAndre Swift going to the Bears? Man, show me someone that saw that one coming. That is only but pain. Steph, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Brings up Brissett to the Patriots. I just saw that news just dropped. That was something that was rumored about a few weeks back. Bridge QB incoming? Does this mean they're trading back? Does this mean they're going Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is there a better chance they go Marvin Harrison Jr. with this news? This one's interesting. Goddamn. We're about to see fireworks, and today's been nothing but fireworks. We're going to be jumping into a draft and sort of seeing where these ADPs are being reached on. Waiting on 5 people. If you guys have any questions about free agency, please throw it in the comments. We're going to be doing a full debrief tomorrow with Nick on the live stream. Man, Gus Edwards he's going like 25 picks early now. Lands at the Chargers. There's some players that I'm still worried about. Like, players are going to be reached on, and I don't think the Chargers are done adding running backs to this room. You look at the money. Are they going to draft someone? Does Gus Edwards still have a really good chance to score six plus touchdowns this year? Yeah, he does. In that offense, it's going to be run heavy. Absolutely. Steph sneaks in this one at the 2 spot. Shout out to King of QC next to us at 5. Vicky Vic, let's go. At the 11 and Jax at 12. This will be a fun room. Get to see where some of the sharper crowd people like to select these players. There's going to be a ton of movement, and that brings me to my next point. What a great time to pick up the draft guide that's going to be released this week. I'm going to try to get it done by Wednesday, the next update, and I'm also going to be releasing CSV with the next draft guide and every draft guide thereafter. So I'm going to be keeping on top of that as well. CSM saying he's at 5 with us here in the live stream. Man, Higgins wants a trade, which we've seen a lot of players get tagged and then get traded. Tyreek Hill being one of them. AJ Brown, another, I believe. He was tagged and traded. So we could see that with T. Higgs. Is that a boost for Chase? Chase is going to get his no matter what. Honestly, it's probably a boost for your late man here. And then do they bring back Boyd if that does happen? We're going to go JJ here just for exposures. I have probably like 11, 12% Chase right now, and I'm comfortable with that. Obviously, Jefferson. Does he get a small knockdown because Kirk left? I don't think so. I think we're already expecting this. And it's not like Burrow's like a bill of health right now with that injury to the throwing wrists, not throwing hands, not great. So we'll see what his status is coming into the year as well. Yeah, this could, but doesn't it raise the chances with the Patriots bringing in Brissett? I think at least raises it a little bit. Now, Brissett could also be a mentor for a rookie QB. That could also be the thinking there. Barkley's a big one. Barkley to Philly. You have to put him at least in front of Ayuk. I would have these ADPs different. Adams would be ahead of Ayuk. You'd have Barkley up a few spots. You could probably put Barkley ahead of Achane too. I would have this ranked all differently. Nico would be behind DJ Moore. So that'll be fun when the rankings do come out to actually go ahead and do that. Charles, welcome to the live stream. They could be out on quorum. Yeah, we'll see. Like Tony Pollard too. He gets moved to the Titans, and we have one share in 115, 120 drafts of Tajay Spears. It must have been an auto. The Tajay Spears slappies are down bad. Always expected to be like an RB2 type change of pace guy that's really efficient with his touches. Doesn't mean he won't have his spike weeks, but or you're drafting him, he's got to take a fat L. And it's not the best landing spot for Pollard, too. You think about Tennessee Titans, it's a team that's going to be playing from behind. So not the best spot for Pollard as well, which those are two players we were sort of off of anyway, so that's really nice. Spears at 68. B-Rob takes a little bit of heat now with Eckler going into Washington, but I still see this being like, obviously it's the worst for Chris Rodriguez, pretty much undraftable at the end of the draft now. Would rather take a shot on some of the rookies. But Brian Robinson, I could still see getting 65% of the work. Eckler being a change of pace back on first and second down. I don't think he's much more than that. And then he's going to be getting a lot of his work on third down, which I think is too expensive for where he's going. So I'll be interested to see where Eckler goes off the board. And again, it's Washington, likely playing from behind, maybe some growing pains with the rookie QB. Doesn't seem like the best scenario. Sneaky winner, though. Sneaky winner. As long as Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry don't land in Arizona, James Conner's a sneaky winner today. So happy to say that. I always wanted to say that. Sneaky winner. All right. Gibbs, JT, HN. Steph, who's this? I want none of who. Kyron off at 17. Artillery Frost. This name doesn't look familiar. This name doesn't look familiar. We'll see what CSM Trucking wants to do in at pick 20 here. This could just be an auto. If you're just joining us, go down, slap the like on the live stream. We're going to be covering all the free agency news today and tomorrow. Today's going to be more of where are these players going in draft rooms. So this will be interesting between Adams and Barkley. I think both of them have to move up in the second round. But probably do want to get my Barkley shares here. 20 is a good spot to get him because I do think he rises a little earlier than 20. Like, who are you guys drafting? Would you rather Barkley or Achane right now? Barkley with very limited competition on a team that Swift was ranked number 1 on like not being touched behind the line of scrimmage. And that's huge for the O-line. Obviously, Jason Kelce retiring. They might have a hole somewhere on the O-line. But that's fine. They should still project to be a top 5, top 6 unit. And with Barkley, you got to think he still has some left in the tank. The only thing that may worry me a little bit about Barkley is Hurts stealing rushing touchdowns. Without Jason Kelce under center, do they do more tush pushes? I think they take a small scale back at least. London's going at 25 now, which is interesting. That's probably right around where we would have had him ranked. London, DK, and Waddle were my favorite 3 in this range, and then probably Mike Evans right after them. So this is definitely interesting here. Travis Etienne goes at 24. I think it's okay just because is Etienne really ever falling back to 48? You're getting a different pairing. The only thing I have hesitancies with bringing London in here to 25 when London did start closer to low 40s. So obviously he's fallen to 48 before. Still a different pairing. It's just I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. If you're gonna do that with London, I don't know if the 1 spot's the best spot there. Seems like you might be a little disadvantaged versus early drafters. Achane over Barkley. It's interesting. Yeah, not checking down. That's going to be one of the major negatives for Barkley going to Philly is losing that portion of his workload, but he's going to likely make it up just through efficiency on first and second down. So I'm not overly worried there, to be honest. Not overly worried. Also in Miami, adding Jonnu Smiths. I like that play. He still goes way too late. Probably by... You got to put him in this range, I would think. He's a good 25 pick discount still. We quickly got up over 8% on Jonnu on vacay the last 2 weeks. Yeah, Patriots hope QB Jacoby Brissett to serve as veteran bridge / backup QB. Interesting. They have to do that to not basically reveal all their cards in the draft. Ridley news is potential to return to the Jags. The Jags bring in Gabe Davis. So likely not re-signing Zay Jones, I would think. So that Zay Jones slappy slaps in the back end of the drafts. Curtis Samuel might be the more fun guy. Kelsey off at 41. See how these teams are looking. 12 spots pissing. Pretty balanced everywhere else. Kelsey, Kyron, JT, and Laporta. Lamar off the board at 43. And this is the range that I do think you can bring Josh Jacobs into. I'm going to be pretty comfortable drafting Jacobs here. We're up in 6 picks. And again, I want one of these. If I get Jacobs, I'm more in tune to bringing in Reed with this Green Bay double. I think that's fine. Terry's fine. Ridley, who I'm well overexposed to right now. The Patriots rumors, just the slight Patriots rumors for Ridley had me backing off for a couple days. Not gonna lie. Here we go. Cryptos, Barkley over Achane. Rip to the B-Rob bags. I'm not fully buying that just yet. It's Eckler, dude. Like, we saw him last year, and it was not pretty. The efficiency was way down. We're not really expecting Brian Robinson to take all the third down role, even though he was pretty damn good in that role last year. Would have been nice to see that, but he would have been crazy value for where he was going. So it's not like at pick 88, and he's been a riser too, where you were getting him in the 90s at the start of the drafts. I don't think this ADP is really going to hurt you. Joe Mixon's going to be an interesting one. He's been a faller too, and we've been scooping him as he's been falling. James Cook's falling in this one. I don't really want James Cook here. I really don't. It's nice, like drafting now, right? How do we get an advantage over the early drafters? And a lot of it just has to do with correlation with more information. And then projecting where these players are gonna move to. Okay, Cook off the board. We'll bring in Reed here to pair with Jacobs in Green Bay. Up in 16 picks, so pick 69 and 76. So you do get the wide receiver dead zone coming up, but we have our 4, which is nice. So we can sort of divert to other roles. Aaron Jones has been a faller from people in the Discord telling us he's fallen 12, 15 plus picks. And I think that's wrong. Like, you still have some killer landing spots for these free agents with Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry. Dallas, Houston. Where are your guys' projections for these two players? 'Cause I'm curious. I would love to see personally, I would love to see Derrick Henry on Dallas. Dak needs some help in the red zone, although he actually looked pretty good last year. Oh, in a room with the guy who seems like he hasn't checked the news today. He drafted Spears in the 4th. At least we know who is keeping Spears' ADP afloat here. I just figured it was bots. Kirk at 59 before Ridley, which if Ridley moves on, Kirk's going to be a riser. Evan Ingram's going to be a huge riser. But if Ridley resigns in Jacksonville, I don't think Kirk really loses that much juice. Like, maybe you put Kirk behind Brian Thomas Jr. and ahead of JSN still. Like, JSN should be falling a lot more than he is right now. Noah Fant re-signed in Seattle today, which I'm not too happy about that one. I'm not going to lie. I'm not too happy about that one. I wanted a better landing spot for Noah Fant. Obviously, based on his ADP, wasn't in on Fant the last couple of years just due to the usage in Seattle. Who knows under the new regime, but still, like, Gino doesn't love Noah Fant. So there's just better landing spots for him. He's going to still be the 4th favorite target behind Lockett, behind DK, behind JSN. So probably trying to find a different click back here. But again, like, Noah Fant goes at the bottom of the barrel. He could have been a crazy value. Really could have. Will Disley moves on to, where did Will Disley go? Did he go to the Chargers? Which Gerald Everett, we haven't clicked yet this offseason, but he's pretty much toast, I would think. Maybe Parham's toast as well. If they bring in Bowers as well. Yeah. Aaron Jones to the Vikings wouldn't be that pretty, I don't think. Although he would get the work, but Singletary's a winner today as well. Dude, I might just be I wanted Brian Thomas Jr. here. Obviously, we're going to go Kincaid. We get a 4-pick drop on Kincaid. It's fine. We'll bring in Kincaid in the spot. Especially with Gabe Davis out of Buffalo. You assume that they're going to bring in another receiver. At least I do. So when I think about the ADP for Khalil Shakur at 116, I think it's almost an early celebration. Look at this guy. He's got 4 running backs and 1 receiver. Is this guy an auto? No, he's not. He went David Montgomery at 49. What is happening? What is happening? I knew this was weird. When he did this, Drake London at 25 with ETN, like bringing up ETN too. It's like this guy's either mega big brain or yikes. I guess it's the later. But yeah, James Conner, definitely a sneaky winner today. If no one else resigns in Arizona, I'm not too worried about them adding from the draft, which you assume they will. Aaron Jones off at 74 is sick. If he fell to us at 76, that's an auto click. Stevenson with Gibson news, I don't think is the worst thing for Stevenson. It's obviously not the best thing, but again, tight ends in this range have always sort of been my favorite. So if Ingram falls to us, you already know. We could go Pitts too. Pitts is going to be a riser with the Kirk news. We have a ton of both of these guys. Just expecting Kyle Pitts again upgraded QB. He's been a constant riser from like ADP 101, 102. We'll bring him in front of Ingram on this one. Love goes at 73, which is just painful. This is painful. The one receiver through 7 rounds. Snipes are the little mini double we had with Josh Jacobs and Reed. But I think Love goes too early, so I'm not gonna complain that much. Let's go. Cam made it to the live stream. Welcome, my man. Parkinson is gone too, at least for Fant. Right, but they have to add someone. They're not just gonna roll out just Fant. I'm not off Bowers, but I would put both of these guys ranked above Bowers. Like Kyle Pitts is guaranteed to he's guaranteed to have a good season, in my opinion. Pending injury. Pending injury. I will preface it. Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends. Bowers, I still think's a smash. Like all of these tight ends in this range, even including Njoku, I'm over 12% on all 4 of these guys. So Eckler off the board at 80. Okay, so this guy likes the landing spot for Eckler. Or just has no idea what's going on. It's one of the two. 87 in the live stream. Appreciate you guys coming out. Nick Chubb at 81. And this is the wide receiver dead zone here. For me, it's Deontay Johnson over Dobbs, but I think that's pretty easy. I think you could probably bring Deontay Johnson right into this early 80 range, to be honest. Bowers falls to 83. Few picks for Vicky. She's got a little 1-1-4-1 going with Hurts, AJ Brown. Spears off the board at 84. So again, a 16 pick drop on Spears. I still would want more. Like I would still just personally draft James Conner over Spears. I'd probably say the same for Joe Mixon as well, just with the unknown that if he resigns, what he's guaranteed, let's say 225 touches. I think that's pretty fair for his price on Cincy. And if he moves on, that's where you have to have your 8% of Chase Brown. It's so risky to not have 8% plus of Chase Brown, in my opinion. The Matthew Berry article really has been lowering Joe Mixon. And he hasn't fallen too much in ADP because of the average, but in some rooms falling to 104 full round plus. Chuba Hubbard, a sneaky winner today, but didn't really think that they were going to add to the running back group with Miles Sanders. Damn. 1 pick ahead of you. 1 pick. Yeah. It's not overly surprising. A lot of teams could be looking into Jones. Also, Houston came out and said that as well. What's the strat this season? Well, early on, the strat is basically just to project the risers at early ADP before everything was formed. Project who's going to rise. Project who's going to get the positive news, and it hasn't been baked into the ADP. I think that's the easiest way to get the risers. But now it's to use the correlation. All right, so Mixon goes off the board at 90 here. B-Rob, I still think will fall with the Eckler news. So let's just bring in Deontay Johnson. It's going to open up another QB for us. Man, QB hogs this room. QB hogs. And probably no one's really correlating all that well. Here we go. Kyler and Trey McBride. But the Justin Fields, would have loved to actually just get Justin Fields at 100 here to pair with Jefferson. I want to manifest. I don't think he ends up. The Minnesota landing spot would be sick for Fields. It really would. Our stacks are being sniped, so we have hope for Geno, Russell Wilson. This could just be and Kirk Cousins. Could we stop at those 3 QBs? I think pretty easily. The team has yet to come out and say like Geno's the starter. They want him to come in and compete. I think that's fine. The love snipe to the team that had 1 receiver, 10 picks. Oh dear. Oh dear. The 1 spot's gone rogue. The 1 spot has gone rogue. Oh shit. All right. This is gonna be interesting here. So we're not going. We have to basically hope if we were to go Kirk, Geno, and Russ, we would legit need all 3. This guy's got 4 QBs now. Oh crap. Gambo, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, this is fine. Like Spears, you're probably going to get around pick 100 and 105, I would think. 110. He's going to be in that change of pace area where like Jalen Warren is. That's sort of where I'd put him. Raheem Mostert here. Yeah, let's bring in Mostert here. Honestly, I think Swift has to fall. I'll be curious where Swift goes here. I don't like this for any running back in Chicago. Roshan, Khalil, I think very easily. Okay. King of QC likes it. I think this is a team that could just ride the hot hand. Team bringing in a rookie QB as well. I hesitate with the ADP on Swift. Noah Brown back in Houston is huge for where he's being drafted. So huge. Are we going to hit 100 live streamers right now for the first time? At 98. Welcome, guys. Chase Brown off at 103. This guy's got 4 QBs in the 1 spot. We need the rest of the room to not notice that, which sucks because we are going to have to reach up to get our guys. Kirk Cousins already has been a riser, around 20 picks from what I've noticed today. So at pick 117, it's probably where we have to pull the trigger, taking into consideration that other teams are going to have to start reaching for their guys with this team going 4 QBs. And you just don't know when he's going to stop too. So I don't think we can really risk not going QB at this spot. Could do a little nakey Nate Jaden Daniels if Kirk gets sniped too. But let's see. Where's the Addison team? It's the Addison team. It's to our right. It's right here. I don't think they go ahead and bring Kirk to this. I think that's aggressive. To 108, 109. I think that's aggressive. Brings in Caleb, Jonathan Brooks. Nice little pairing with Jonathan Brooks is Jerome Ford, especially if you expect Nick Chubb to start the season slow. And then Jonathan Brooks also starting the season slow, and you'd have Ford sort of make up for that early season woes. Jared, welcome to the live stream, man. Didn't plan on going live, but I had to. There was just too much. There's just too much juicy news. Tomorrow we're gonna do more of a talk-based stream with Nick on the free agents, the winners, the losers, and update to the draft guide coming this week. What a freaking better time than now. There's gonna be some crazy movement. Okay, he's still there. We just have to get by 4 drafters here. Just have to get by 4 drafters. It's crazy that, I mean, even Tua, we could pair with the late Jonnu Smith, although I want to stop at 2 tight ends here. That's the benefit of going these 2 early tight ends. Okay, good. He's gone. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to think about it. We're going to get that extra pick on the back end, which is nice. Come on. Come home to Papa. 2 picks away. 1 pick away. Yeah, we have to. We have to reach. This guy, if this guy goes another QB here, could be pretty ugly. All right, let's bring in Kirk here to pair with Kyle Pitts. We're good at receiver, like feeling good. We don't have to go receiver for a pretty good while. Would we go naked Trevor Lawrence here, though? And then bring in maybe like Gabe Davis. So it wouldn't be naked. We wouldn't get Gabe Davis at 141. I assume that Gabe Davis has been rising in these rooms. 139. Dude. No. No, he didn't. We have to go a second QB. We have to go a second QB. Ban this guy, like right now. All done. Trevor Lawrence. It's got to be. This one's probably being thrown out, boys. Too bad. Too bad. It's gonna get ugly. We can still risk it though. This is smart. Just going naked T-Law is smart here. For the slim chance this doesn't get thrown out. Trey Benson's fine here. I think he can bring up Singletary to this area too. Is sort of a sneaky winner. Let's bring in a rookie. We're not reaching up for QB here. We do want Geno at some point. And we're probably going to bring in like Daniel Jones. It's going to be gross, but could we go Drake May? Presumably going to Washington. Not going to have correlation there. We could find some back end stacks with Russ is gone. Like that one hurts more than the Jaden Daniels pick. Like this one's probably being tossed though. Steph goes, I don't think it's getting tossed. He's been pretty okay with ADP until the Russell Wilson click. And that's where I think Underdog should cap you at QB. They should cap you at 5. Like shit. If you want 6, like cap at 6. But the fact that you can draft more than that, I think is I think it wastes people's time. But if you guys haven't already, go down, slap the like on the live stream. Hit subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,200 subscribers. I think we might be putting the 24-hour live stream on the table for 2K subscribers before NFL kickoff. So if you want to see me suffer for 24 hours, you know what to do. So the room isn't reacting to this right now. They're still not reacting. If Jaden Daniels was available, we would have gone Jaden Daniels at 124 or Trevor Lawrence. But to reach up for the next QB at Stafford just didn't seem worth it, to be honest. We're still at the end of the day competing against the other teams for week 17. And that's going to be 558 other teams. So you want to be somewhat reasonable and know that, yes, sure, you could be burning $10. But I'm comfortable with this team so far. Rodgers off the board. Singletary off the board. We'll see how far the Rashawn slip goes and the Khalil Herbert slip goes. Staffy off the board. Where's Jerry going right now? 130, and he's already off the board. Basically at ADP. Drake May. So now the room's starting to pick up at QB. We can just go naked Deshaun Watson here. Just to get our second QB and then hope to get one of these two. It's tough being here with all these drafters behind me, not knowing what they're going to do at QB. At 165, if it comes back to us, yeah, see, if it comes back to us at 165 and Gino's not there, we're going to be mad we didn't take a QB with one of these two picks. And if this guy continues to go QB, yeah, we just got to take Deshaun Watson here. I hate it, but we still have to do it. Derek Carr off the board at 140. I'm assuming you have Olave. Yeah. All right. Let's see what this freaking guy does. Just go on auto, man. Team would have ended up better. Gabe Davis off at 143. Should not be falling behind ADP here. Really nice scoop by Steph. Pairs it with Trevor Lawrence, too. Now Steph's really hoping this one doesn't get canceled. Brings it all the way down to triple zeros. Are they going to bring in their second receiver here? No, Baker Mayfield. All right, so this was huge. This was huge. Maybe we do go Gino with this next pick. With Dotson. All right. If this one goes through, 3 out of 11 advance, which is nice. This sucks, though, because I need a running back in this range. And it probably looks something like this. Steph goes Mims. Back on the Mims click from last year. Steph, it's all right. We'll get you help soon. We'll get you help. I'm just grabbing my QB here. Look who's left on the board. Levis, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, and JJ McCarthy. I'm not getting boxed. And we have the correlation with Metcalf. We're going to pick up at receiver, and then we'll end off with some. No, we're going to pick up at RB, and then we're going to end off with some receivers. That's basically how this one's going to go. We have 2 tight ends. We're stopping there, stopping at 3 QBs, 7 or 8 receivers, and then the rest running backs. Can definitely stop at 7, I think, with this starting 5, but we'll see who we get. And we'll just sort of see who's available at the end of drafts. Who's going to make the biggest impact on our roster. Brandon Cooks off the board. 3 tight ends in a row. The Pat Fry click feels a little better now with Russ in town, I would say. Probably still want 3 tight ends though, unless you project him to be what? Top 12, top 14 tight end with Ingram being a top 6. I guess you could stop there. In an 18 round draft, you definitely stopping at 2 there, in my opinion. But Rashawn falls to 154. 26 picks. So where does Khalil Herbert go? I think that's a signing that probably hurt my portfolio the most between my Rashawn shares and Khalil Herbert shares. Yeah. It depends, though. It depends. Do they end up moving Deontay Johnson or not? I think that's going to be huge for Freiermuth. If they move Deontay Johnson, Pat Fry at 149's pretty nice. The best value still seems to be Jonnu Smith at 206, though. RB's coming back. We probably will go Khalil Herbert if he falls to us. It's so gross. 165, 20 pick drop. It's so gross. 3 RBs there, probably riding the hot hand. K. Dotton off the board at 159. Leduc. This name's Jay Leduc. This name's familiar too. Why do I feel like that was like a dog bowl team in Miami? That name's familiar. All right. So Vicky's got AJ Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jalen Hurts, T. Higgs, Christian Kirk, George Pickens, Brock Bowers, James Conner, Dallas Goedert. So got her 2 tight ends there. Got Jalen Hurts with Jared Goff. So didn't really even have to reach at QB. Doesn't have the correlation with Goff, but still could be a decent advance rate click based on where she got him to. And then this team going 6 QBs. Of course. I wanted Algier. We're going to go Lloyd here. We're going to go Lloyd. We got to go back-to-back RBs. If Herbert's still there at the end, we'll go Herbert, but this team got 7 QBs. Steph, this has to get thrown out. Yeah, this is pretty big news for based on where Noah Brown's going. It's too cheap. It's way too cheap. It is way too cheap. Khalil Herbert off the board at 166 finally. 21 picks. 20 picks after ADP. I think it's fine. Could fall more after we get the landing spots for some of these rookies, but it's probably around where he settles, BBM. Damn, Gus is really who we wanted, and he gets selected by the 7-5-2 squad. Really? We tried pushing Gus and we get burnt. It's all right. I still think they end up adding another running back for the Chargers, but he should have like that David Montgomery type role. Ray Davis off the board. Antonio Gibson fits our team. I think we end up going Antonio Gibson here. Receiver, I feel like we're strong enough that we can skip out on this tier of receivers. Antonio Gibson ends up in New England, and based on his role, what we need for him for this team, we just need someone to basically get 60 catches and 100 touches on the ground. Plus, you're getting the upside of an injury potential to Stevenson. The Gibson price seems a little too too cheap, and he's my number one drafted player this offseason. So maybe there's a little bias there. Just maybe a little bias, but I think the landing spot's pretty decent. Karma for stealing Lloyd, dude. That 10 pick drop on Lloyd, I couldn't not click Lloyd here at 165. Even though I wanted a Gus share, it would have been nice to get Gus here, but so is life. So is life. I think Gibson sort of provides a similar type. We're looking for a floor play, basically, with having two rookies as our RB3 and RB4. All right. So 2-round break, basically, at QB here. So maybe we could have waited, but you don't know how the room's going to adjust when there's only four guaranteed starters left on the board. Guaranteed starters. Daniel Jones off at 177 to pair with Kyler. Could potentially stop there at QB, but you're running the risk of Daniel Jones not starting every game. Jones seems like that guy he's either going to be a great value or he's going to basically be like Jimmy G from last year. There's a lot of QBs in that range, I guess, that just ended up shitting the bed. Juwan Johnson off at 181. Devontae Walker. Vicky's having a good draft right now. All right, king of QC in the 5 spot in the live stream. Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley. That's snipe. That was payback. That was payback down here. Chris Olave, Roma Dunze, McLaurin, Joe Burrow, Evan Ingram, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Mike Williams, Chuba, Derek Carr, Pat Fry, Ricky, Elijah Mitchell. Nice and balanced. Nice and balanced. Johnny Smith goes off the board at 184. That's sort of the range that we were mentioning prior. Maybe even he should be going probably a little earlier than that too. So that's a sharp click right here by the 9 spot. Bryce Young off the board. And now we can bring in our first rookie receiver. Let's bring in Corley. 13 picks after ADP. Had a pretty good combine, and he's basically just like a big yards after catch guy. I think the concerns for him are basically the competition he had was not too crazy. Another nice one, Malik Washington, Javon Baker down here, Jermaine Burton. These are 3 of my main clicks at the end of these rounds, 4 rookies. If we go one more receiver, we're going to end off with, do we need 3 more running backs? I don't even think so. I think we could get away with just 2 more running backs here. Sort of lean into Benson getting a RB1 type role. Not top 12, but RB1 on his team, first and second down. Yeah, we could get away with just 2 running backs here pretty easily. So maybe we take the shot on Malik Washington, or we can go with one of these running backs. Steph goes Baker. think Malik Washington ends up getting sneaky good draft capital, but we'll see. Sort of like a Tyler Lockett type. Let's go Malik here. And then we're going to we're going to hope we get one of these RBs back to us. Can add Shipley at the bottom here. Dowdle gone. I think we have enough carries here where we could add someone like Tank. We could add someone like Gainwell and be good. AJ Dillon and be good. Israel Banaconda, out of this group, I mean, he's not going to have the same change of pace role that you think like some of these guys may have. But the upside of if Brees got hurt is pretty big right now. With Michael Carter going to Arizona, will they bring in another running back behind Brees? They tried it with Dalvin. So I'm not fully sold on the Izzy click, but in the 20th round, it's 19th round even. It's not a bad click with the current news that we have. Noah Brown goes at 197. That's sharp. I probably would still put him behind Burton. I'd probably still put him behind Mooney. I'm a sucker for the free agents this time of year because you can get the nuts landing spots. We've seen it a lot today. So I am a sucker for the free agents, Curtis Samuel and Mooney, especially when there's not crazy competition in free agency for receivers. I'm ready for some good receiver news tomorrow for free agency. Israel Banaconda off the board at 205 here. Wilson playing behind Jacobs. We wouldn't do that with our team because we have Jacobs. Otherwise, he would be in probably my player pool. Seems like these running backs are rising up right now. What's the Knox news? Agrees to restructure contract. That's good for the Knox slappies. As a 20th round guy, Danny Bellinger is a sneaky one where just if Waller retires. And then here's an interesting one between these two. Between Gainwell and AJ Dillon. I'd probably want Gainwell. But it's close because Dillon, you don't know where the landing spot's going to be. If he ends up on a team like Buffalo and they're just like, hey, we need you for basically just red zone carries. Like, think about where Damian Harris rose from, like 170, 168 in BBM to like 120. And they're always looking for a running back to basically punch it in. We'll see if they continue with that same narrative. Jermaine Burton off the board to Steph. Steph's taking all the sleepy sleeps, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. The Mims thing, though, the Mim rise, I can't get behind. I can't do it. We already knew Judy was leaving. They have to bring in another receiver. I think Mims is good, but Russ leaving, Denver's not good for Mims. That's one of those, like, all right, I'll grab you in the next tournament. I don't know if I necessarily like Mooney for my current build right now. I don't think Mooney does a lot for my current build. I typically have more rookies in this spot. 5 receivers by Deontay Johnson. If T. Higgins does get traded, you're going to see a rise out of Isovius. But again, this team would probably then they'd probably re-sign Boyd or. Let's do it. Let's bring in a year 2 guy. We have one last click and probably spending it at running back, I would think. 5 receivers by Deontay Johnson's pretty strong. We have our 2 tight ends. I think we just take a shot at RB. Take a shot at someone that's not being drafted all too often. There's a few in mind. Dylan Johnson had a super disappointing combine, wherever he is. He's been falling. Yeah, he's down here now. Kendall Milton had a relatively bad combine as well. Sort of on the sleeper radar. Chris Rod, I don't think is draftable right now either. After they bring in Eckler, be curious if Chris Rod gets drafted here. The one spot, what happened? He ends up bringing in 3, 4. He ends up bringing in 5 receivers. Like, what? Where was the disconnect? Is this just to show, like, his girlfriend, like, hey, look at my expected score, baby. We're going to the moon. All right, so here goes one of our sleepers, Isaiah Davis. Not good. Not good. If I don't like a click there at the position, I will just go someone else that I think will help the team. It's not tight end. It's not QB. But guys, if you haven't already, go down, slap the like on the live stream. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, hit the sub. We are on the way to 1,200 subbies. And tomorrow we're going to be covering the winners and losers of free agency with Nick. I'll be more of a podcast style. So Chris Rod does go at 231. He also drafted Pickett. Did he have a second QB? Rodgers and A-Rich? I think you just bite the bullet and you just stick with those 2 QBs, in my opinion. But Mooney off the board at 233. I have 2 people in mind right now. One's a running back and one's a receiver. Eric Gray off the board. Wasn't the one I was thinking of. Kendrick Bourne off the board. All right. We should get one of them now. Can't give it away. He's in the live stream. He's in the live stream. And he's angry. He's angry at me. Winner of one of the free YouTube memberships we gave away last week, I believe. Osborne. Interesting click. Haven't seen the Osborne click all that often. At receiver be McMillan. Or running back, it would be Kamani. Let's bring in an RB here with this team. Jacobs to Green Bay. So basically, it's a hero running back build in a way. Mostert, Benson, Lloyd, Gibson, AJ Dillon. We needed a running back over the receiver. Having 5 receivers by Johnson, we should be comfortable with this. Bringing in a couple of rookies, you're looking to hit on one of them. And then maybe Higgins does get the trade, and you get a rise out of Sovius, which he'd probably end up being like a wide receiver 3 on the team. They would bring in someone else, but I'm comfortable with that. Still 8 receivers. All right. Is it going to bring us to the next page? Let's go. Come on. Been so many people must be drafting right now. I think the only person's draft we didn't cover was Steph's. Mahomes and Lawrence with Schultz, Fant, and Sinnott. Wow, this is a little thin for me, especially Fant re-signing in Seattle, 4th favorite target, still behind JSN, Metcalf, and Lockett. I don't love the landing spot, so I don't know if I'm reaching, but obviously maybe got a little behind at tight end. I'm fine with the group, but I think maybe a little on the weak side. QB's fine. You pair Trevor Lawrence with Gabe Davis late too, which is sick. Pacheco, Aaron Jones is 74. Javante, Zach Moss, Ray Davis. I'm out on Dylan, but CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Debo Samuel, Hopkins, Downs, Gabe Davis, Marvin Mims, Javon Baker. I like the receiver room. It's pretty balanced. I think maybe somewhere should have brought in a different tight end, but pretty balanced team there. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone coming out. Going to be back live again tomorrow, covering the free agents, winners and losers. My God, we need some more good news for we want Curtis Samuel. I'm not big asks, okay? Not big asks. Curtis Samuel to Buffalo and Darnell Mooney to KC. Thank you very much. I hope everyone has a good night. Slap the like on the way out. I'll catch you tomorrow. Pounders.